Hi, we're back again and we'll be looking at cleaning up our recorded samples by editing them. The key ideas that we'll examine include setting up our digital audio workstation, opening an audio file, removing unnecessary sound from the beginning and end of the audio file, ensuring that when we perform our editing on the audio file, we're using what is termed the zero crossing points. We will also be employing short, gentle fades on the start and end of the audio file and maximising the peak amplitude of the audio file by normalising. Okay, let's begin by editing our sound. We'll go to File, Open. We'll select the egg shaper sound that we used in the kitchen recording session and click Open. It'll ask you to make a copy of the files before editing. This is considered safer, so I'm going to do that. Click OK. And there's our waveform. Let's make it a bit more visible. Click Fit Vertically. And just to be sure, click Fit to Window, and that'll bring it in horizontally. Okay, let's play it. To play it, we'll click the play button. You can see how some of the waveforms are peaking on the level meter as they're turning red. I'm interested in grabbing a chunk that isn't distorted. So I'm going to come in here to this section and highlight that piece. Now to play it back, I can simply click play again or use the spacebar. Okay, I like the sound of that section, so I'm going to edit it. The first thing I do is go to Edit and choose Find Zero Crossings. This ensures the selection is selecting the beginning and the end at a zero crossing point, so the volume or amplitude is zero. This will prevent clicks and other sorts of artifacts. I'll also go back up to Edit, go Remove Special and trim the audio to this position. Okay, let's move this to the start of the track. So I'll click the Move tool and I'll drag that section right back to zero. Okay, let's see if we can increase the horizontal zoom. There we can see the full waveform. Let's click play again. Okay, I'm just going to perform a couple of other minor edits. I'm going to delete this part at the beginning, again ensuring that I've selected zero crossings, and hit delete on the keyboard. I'll do the same at the end. Select or find zero crossings, hit delete. I'm now going to fade in the start, so I'll select the beginning and go to Effect, fade in and go to the end, fade out. I'm only selecting a few milliseconds. That's just to ensure that if I decide to loop the sound file or when I'm playing it, sometimes I can get other artifacts that are introduced. Let's double click on the section and hit the spacebar to play. Sounds pretty good to me. Now that we've removed the unnecessary audio, let's see what other techniques we can use to improve the audio file. Final thing to do is normalize it, and I'll go to Effect and select Normalize. What Normalize does is it analyzes the waveform and boosts the amplitude of the samples up to a certain range. This helps to maximize the overall loudness in some cases. I'm going to leave it at -1. That gives me a bit of room at the top in case I have to perform any additional processing. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So let's export it out. We'll go to File, Export Audio, select Microsoft Wave, and select 24-bit. And I'll put it in my New Samples folder, give it a slightly different name, and click Save. It may ask you to enter metadata. That's not necessary at this point. Click OK, and it's now exported. The final point, if you're having trouble hearing what your computer is playing back, check the output menu and make sure it's select your system output or whichever sound card or device you happen to be using. Let's flip back to the Finder and we can see our snippet is right there and we can play it back. That covers the practical steps you'll need to prepare your samples for sharing and use in this week's creative activity.